What's up, guys? How are you? Welcome to Saturday. It is time for another episode of the Daily Juice Podcast with me, Matt Perrault. At Sports Talk Matt is my handle across all socials. You guys can see everything we're doing. Full transparency. This podcast is all about keeping track of everything. You guys can go on to bettingpros.com and take a look at the tracker. I post it in our Discord channel all the time, bettingpros.com/chat. 2-1 last night. Up 0.9 units. So down 3 units as we head to the weekend. Can we get a winning week? Got to win on Saturday, got to win on Sunday. I got 4 plays for you guys coming up here for college football. I'll give you a couple of other bets and plays and leans if you want to jump on in with everything. So if you want to do that, I'll give it to you here in just 1 second. But this podcast is being brought to you by OmahaSteaks.com. OmahaSteaks.com, semi-annual sale going on right now. You guys can use the promo code JUICE. There is a 50% off sale going, but it'll knock $30 off the additional 50% off. So you get a pretty good deal, right? So it's, $200 is $100 plus $30 off. You get $200 worth of food for $70. It's pretty good. Steaks and burgers and chicken breast and pork and seasonings, all sorts of great stuff. OmahaSteaks.com. Go check it out. Semi-annual sale going on. Juice in the promo code in the search bar for the promo code to get $30 off. Minimum purchase may be required. Okay, so what a game. What a baseball game. Whew. Rangers. I'm glad we stayed away from the side. Total we got right. Over 8. 5 Ks for Zach Gallen. Oh boy, that was thankful for that because the Golden Knights game was over fast. 4 goals in the first period. We were dead. There was like a glimmer of hope in the third period because no goals were scored in the second period. But yeah, we'll take a break from hockey for a couple of days. Let's let the algorithms and all the numbers kind of pour in here before we go back talking about betting hockey. So college football, 4 plays for you guys here for college football. Now, there are a bunch of games on the West Coast that I like, okay? And some of them are late at night. You may not be too jumping up and down about that, but I'm going to start with an early game. Oklahoma at Kansas. I have seen this game before, okay? Weather concerns in Lawrence, Kansas. It's not going to be pleasant. It's going to be cold, raw, nasty. Winter-esque, as they're calling it. Oklahoma's a warm weather school. Oklahoma almost lost at home to Central Florida last week, and I think people are starting to figure out this offense a little bit for OU. All right. I like the over. It's 66, but because of the weather, I'm not interested in playing the over in this game. Instead, I'm going to look at KU catching 9 points here from Oklahoma. Now, on this season, KU is 3-4, but at ATS, but at home, they're 3-1. KU is a different team at home in Lawrence than they are on the road. Oklahoma, 3-0 on the road, 3-1 at home, but last week at home, not covering. They were 6-0 before that. I think KU can keep the game close. I think KU will have a shot to win the game. I think KU's offense has enough potency to take advantage of the lack of defense that Oklahoma really has. I know you're going to go, what did you just say? Lack of defense. Matt, the numbers are incredible for Oklahoma. I never buy any defense for Oklahoma. I'm sorry. I never look at them and be like, oh my gosh, they're a defensive stud football team. Their offense is always good. Their defense is giving up 16 points per game, 10th best in the country. Great. Defense is giving up 3.4 yards per rush. Great. 6.8 yard per pass play, 41st in the country. Great. 240 yards passing per game, 71st. Okay. I'm going against all of it. KU to keep it close. +9, 1.1 units on KU at home against Oklahoma. Bet number 2. Let's go to Utah hosting. Look, let me say something about Utah real fast. Yes, Cam Rising's not playing, but they've known it for a while that Cam Rising was not going to be playing. So I think it's significant that we have a chance to jump on Utah at home against Oregon, catching points. Home dog in Salt Lake City. They are fired up there. This is a hard place to play. This is a difficult place to play. I like Bo Nix. I don't love Bo Nix. 2-0-1 on the road, ATS-wise, so far for Oregon. At home, 3-1 ATS-wise for Utah. They went on the road to USC. They won. Put up points. impressively put up points. Oregon's defense is much better. This game screams under, okay? 47 points. But I'm a little concerned about the offenses, and maybe we get into a bit of a Pac-12 track meet, and I don't want to get burned by it. I think the dog is the better play. Now, last 2 weeks, Oregon has not covered. They pushed against Washington. They won by 14 as 19.5-point favorites against Washington State. Last 2 games, 3 of the last 4, Utah has covered. I like their defense. I like their size. I like their running game to keep this game close and for Bo Nix to throw a pick and turn the football over. I'm taking Utah plus 6.5. Utes at home. Another home dog we're taking plus 6.5 for Utah. Bet number 3. A little bit of a trend here in case you haven't figured this out yet as to what I'm betting here. Let's talk about Arizona State. They are at home against Washington State. They are a home dog. They are catching 5.5 points. Washington State on the year, 4-3 ATS. Arizona State, 3-1. At home, they haven't been good. They're 1-3-1. Only game they covered at home, where they pushed against Colorado, and they covered at home against USC, catching 34.5 points. They lost on the road to Washington by 8. They covered it because they were catching 28 points. They played extremely well. They've covered 3 of the last 4 games, and they've lost all 4 games. Losing by 14, 3, 3, and 8. They hang around. Now, for Washington State, they lost by 14 to Oregon on the road. That covered a 19.5-point spread. They were laying 7.5 at home against Arizona, and they lost by 38 points. They were plus 3.5 on the road at UCLA, and they lost by 8. They haven't covered in 2 of the last 3 games. They haven't covered in 3 of the last 5 games. Arizona State's scrappy at home. I think they're improving. They're getting better. And against the Pac-12 conference, Arizona State is 3-0-1 so far on the year. Didn't cover against Fresno State, Oklahoma State, or South Utah, but everybody else, 3-1-1. Give me the home dog. Arizona State plus 5.5 for 1.1 units. Now, there is one favorite I'm betting, and I'm going to get a worse number than anybody else got because I was looking for 7. It was 7.5, and the number spiked. Pro money came in heavy on Fresno State. UCLA, the school I work at. I was at UNLV. Sorry, I don't work at UCLA. I work at UNLV. I was at a UNLV hockey game tonight for their club team. But we're looking at a road test for UNLV that I think is asking a little bit too much with Fresno State at home. This is a late night game, okay? This is a 10:30 Eastern time start. So this is late. As I said, KU's early, but Utah, Arizona State, and Fresno State are going to be late. Fresno State's laying 9 points. I wanted 7. It was 7.5. I didn't bet it. Should have bet it, but under 10, I'm okay. So Fresno State minus 9. UNLV is 6-1 ATS. Everyone's going to say take the points, okay? But Fresno at home, 1-2. They've played a much greater level of competition, all right? They beat Purdue on the road, which is significant to me for Fresno State. They beat Kent State by 43. They beat Arizona State by 29 on the road. They beat Utah State by 5 on the road. They lost to Wyoming by 5 on the road, but then they beat Nevada by 18 at home. Colorado State, for UNLV, they were laying points at home last week. We faded them last week, and it worked. I'm going to fade them again this week. I think teams are not going to get caught overlooking UNLV. They're bowl eligible. They're 6-1 on the year. Their only loss is to Michigan on the road by 28 points. They covered that game. Big game in the Mountain West Conference. I'm taking Fresno. I think they've got some real big advantages, in particular stopping the passing attack for UNLV and then taking advantage of UNLV's secondary and having an opportunity to really put some points up on the board that's going to push this game away. We've got Mikey Keene, the quarterback, is questionable, but it looks like he's going to play, so that's big. A couple other guys who are out, running back and wide receivers who are out, but they've been out for a good long period of time. The Keene decision, everyone was waiting to see, was he going to play? He's going to play. The number popped because he's going to play. So he got good news from the medical staff, and Keen's going to be in there at quarterback for Fresno State. I'm going to lay the 9. Fresno State -9. All right? 4 bets. Now, you want something on Florida, Georgia? I like the dog there. +14.5. Not going to make it official, okay? I'm not going to do that to you, but I don't mind that at all. Baseball, over. Rinse and repeat with baseball, okay? Game 2 is tonight. You want that? Bet the over. I'll be on the over myself, but bet the over again. I don't think either team's going to have a shutdown game. These offenses, 6-5 final last night, and these offenses are too good. This ballpark is too conducive for offense. Over in Game 2 of the World Series. You want that, okay? A couple extra plays for you. But officially, KU +9, Utah +6.5, Arizona State +5.5, Fresno State -9, all for 1.1 units, 4.4 units in play. If we sweep, we will be up for the week. Big Saturday. Let's have some fun. Oh, by the way, Francis Ngannou, I don't even know. It's -1,400 on Ngannou. Sorry, on Tyson Fury today in the boxing match. I don't think there are props up for this, but let me just double check and see if there's props. Because Ngannou, Fury to knock out Ngannou, 100% should be a thing. If it's available. I'm not sure it's going to be available, just given the number laying 14, laying -14 is just, I mean, there are numbers and then there are numbers. I didn't think this was up at FanDuel. It was only up at DraftKings. Yeah, I mean, even Tyson Fury's future fight against Alexander Usyk. Yeah, he's -2,000 now. Jeez. Everyone just coming in and just dropping. The total round is 4.5. Juice to the over. I mean, he might carry him for a couple of rounds. I'm not sure how that's gonna wind up going. So, okay, DraftKings is still at -1,400. You can bet Fury by knockout is -550. You can just put these things here into your parlays if you want. I mean, make your bets parlays if you want. You want to take your favorite college football bet and just parlay it with either money line or by knockout, like, I don't know, -550. And if you took, let's just take one of our bets that we like. Let's take KU +9. That's a +125 play. So it does flip the -110 to +125. So you can do that. Or you can, lay the 1,400 if you want with that. But Ngannou is going to get knocked out by Tyson Fury. Going to happen. So my name is Matt Perrault. Follow me on socials at Sports Talk Matt each and every morning. The Daily Juice Podcast. Always being brought to you by OmahaSteaks.com.